Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys today. And unfortunately, we did not get to play Blangdmire Nexus on stream last night, but he is here now. So, I threw together a quick build. This is a first draft, definitely subject to change, and I'm really excited to try this deck out and tell you guys why I went with this route over any other. So, we're gonna talk about the deck build, talk about the card choices, of course, talk about the new cards, and then we're gonna go jump into some games. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in and get started. So ride line, we're sticking with the same ride line. It gives us a pretty hefty amount of soul and draw. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I might look around for alternate ride lines, either to go more aggressive or to try and gain a little more advantage. But unfortunately, Dark States doesn't have too many great generic ride lines. This one just happens to be pretty solid. But I went with the Ionella for the starter because the starter doesn't really matter, and I like Ionella. Hollow Raptor. Skill, when it's rolled on by Vacant Fang, which is our grade 2, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put all grade 1 or greater cards into the soul, and put the rest of the bottom of the deck in order. If you put 2 or more, you get to draw a card. Vacant Fang. Vacant Fang, when this unit is rolled upon by a grade 3 or greater card with Blangdmire in its card name, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, put all grade 1 or greater cards into the soul. From among them, if you shuffle your deck, if you put 2 or more cards into the soul, draw a card. So Raptor bottom decks, Vacant Fang shuffles. Now here is where we start getting the spice. So I'm going with one who walks from 0, Blangdmire Nexus in the ride deck, along with 3 copies in the main deck. Here is why. So for anybody who hasn't already read the skill, Blangdmire Nexus is actually better than when I had first reviewed the episode, because there was parts of his effect that didn't reveal to us. So Continuous Vanguard, this unit is also regarded as Faded 1 of 0 Blangdmire. Also, so it's counted as both names. So it sucks because you can't use the grade 3 searches with him, but unless you're on OG Blangdmire, but that's a whole nother story. Because that's an alternate build where you ride Blangdmire on turn 3 and you have him in the main deck. But that's not the build we're going for. We're going for Turbo Nexus. During your turn, if your soul has a card with the same name as this unit gets blank. It's all of their divine skills, and all of your front or rear guards get 5,000 power. So, because this is regarded as Nexus and Faded 1 of 0 Blangdmire, as long as you have one of the grade 3s in soul, your front row has plus 5k, which I think is going to be a nice explosive extra bit of power for your turn 3s, because we have a lot of soul charging. So hitting one grade 3 gets us that, and unfortunately there is still really no way to consistently get your divine skill by turn 3. It's usually by turn 4. So that gives you 4 turns to get 1 copy of OG Blangdmire in the soul to turn on your divine skill. So, and you can persona ride over this guy with either Nexus or OG Blangdmire. So there's that option too. That's why if you look, we went with 4 copies of this guy, 1 in the ride, 3 in the main, and 4 copies of OG Blangdmire. Triggers, our trigger line stayed pretty much the same. We actually have a little bit more draw power now. That's why I'm using fronts instead of draws, but that's also something to change. Valnu is just a great card, and we have ways to build the board because of Nexus, which I forgot to talk about Nexus' second skill. Act, Vanguard Circle, once per turn. The cost of this can be paid with bind a grade 3 or greater card with Blangdmire's card name from your soul face down. So this fixes the problem what Blangdmire would have, where he would run out of steam, where if your opponent lived for long enough, you would run out of cards in soul to keep on gaining power and removing rear guards and, drawing cards. But now you can either bind 4 cards with him or any grade 3 with or just the 1 card, the grade 3 with Blangdmire, to trigger the skill. Bind 4 cards from the soul face down. Your opponent chooses 2 of their rear guards, binds them face down, and this unit gets 5,000 power for every 2 face down cards in your bind zone until the end of turn. Choose up to 1 face down card from your bind zone, reveal it, and if the revealed card is grade 3 or less, call it to rear guard. If you did not reveal a card, you may draw a card. So you can either get a superior call from the bind, or if you want to keep the cards in the bind for extra power, you can just draw a card. Solid. It helps build the board. Because it gives you the power before you call the card, you're going to always gain at least 10k, because you're going to bind 4. It's just the way they made this skill, it's crafted very well. We have our PGs, of course. We're playing 2 copies of the cat. This is a soul-based deck. As long as we persona ride once, we will always have the materials to be able to use the cat. We just gotta make sure we don't bind the ride line cards, because unfortunately this deck does suffer from a severe counterblast problem. They gave us no cards for countercharge, but they gave us more cards that counterblast. So that's going to be our most important resource, is our counterblast. That's why we're playing the cat. That's why we're playing Radiance Caliburn. We're playing 4 Evoke Alchemist. It's still our persona booster, still fantastic, still gives us a 4th attack. I decide to put 2 copies of Netherworld Butcher. This allows us to stop our opponent from intercepting, which helps, you know, with smaller columns, though this could come out for something else. And it allows us to get cards from our drop back into Soul, so we don't lose out on certain resources that we have to discard. Then we've got the new card. Some people are mixed on this card. I really like it. When it's played, you look at the top 2 of the deck, you put 1 to the Soul, 1 to the bottom of the deck. You have to do this, unfortunately. It is mandatory when you call this card. Second skill, though, at the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Great Greater Vanguard with Blangdmire, its card name, Counterblast 1, choose a normal unit from your Soul, put it into your hand, and bind this unit face down. It's another way to get face down binds to increase your power and your options to call, as well as get a normal unit back from the Soul, which includes your perfect guards, your persona rides, your rear guards. It doesn't care what you add back. You can add back whatever the fuck you want. 4 copies of Tiskar. We don't use energy for anything, so it's a resource we're going to make use of to draw extra cards. Vidrock helps us build the board when the unit is placed on rear guard, other than during the battle phase. Soul Charge 1, and then you can counterblast 1. Choose a Great Tool-esque card with a different name from this unit. From your Soul, call it to rear guard. If you have a Vanguard without Blangdmire in its card name, at the end of turn, put the called unit back into Soul. Good for early game because you can call a unit, use it to swing, and then goes back to Soul. Good for late game when you need to build the board. And then once you have 4 cards face down, this guy gains 10k. I am playing the new Grade 2. The more I think about this card, the more I like it. For anybody that doesn't know what this card does, let me preface this by saying normally I hate cards like this. It's one of those, if you meet condition, it just gains 5k power, 5k shield. But they made this right by giving it some more spice. So this is only if you have a Great Greater Vanguard with Blangdmire, its card name, and your bind zone has 4 or more face down cards. It cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. It gets boost, and it gets 15,000 power, 15,000 shield. So this thing's a 15,000k attacker. So this thing is a 15k attacker, 15k booster, and you cannot retire it with card effects. You can't lock it, you can't bind it, nothing. This thing is actually pretty solid. And because of the 5k shield, it's just a continuous effect. Even if you got with this from hand, it still has the 5k shield on it. Then, of course, I said we're playing 4 copies of Blangdmire. We want to get this into the Soul. We just need to get 1 copy. And then, of course, Radiance Caliburn for countercharge. So this is my first draft of the deck. I know what you might be saying. Where's cards like Zamoog? Zamoog is nice because it helps build up the Soul and gets us a draw. But reality, this gets us a selective Soul Charge and gets us a card back as well. So it does pretty much the same thing Zamoog does. Zamoog has potential to get more cards in Soul, but you get what I'm trying to say. And Zamoog is heavy costed, whereas you don't have to pay this counterblast after boost. If you want to use Zamoog Soul Charge, you have to do it on call. And he costs energy to be able to get his 5k in a crit, which does become a pain in the ass, especially since we want to draw cards off of Tiskar. So that's why I decided to opt out of it this time. We might try him again later. We're definitely going to play this deck on stream. So real quick plug, if you guys want to see me play some Vanguard live, including this deck, our next Vanguard stream will be Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so be there. But enough with the advertisement. Let's go jump into a game. All right, guys, we got a game, and we're going second, of course. Let's get rid of some of these cards. We don't want to see some of this stuff right now. We want some early game cards. This is okay. Now, remember, our goal is to get an OG into Soul by turn 4. I'm already feeling we should switch to draw triggers, but we'll play it out, see how it goes. All right, we're gonna draw for turn, drop Tiskar, ride grade 1, get a thing. We get to draw 2. That helps. That's a good card. So now if we draw into Blangdmire, it's still live. Do I call the extra attacker right now? I don't think I want to call it just because we don't have anything to, like, next turn, what do we call? Let's just go swing. All right. Not bad going second. Now we have to deal with him calling a whole board, though. I love Estacion. It's a really, really strong deck. Super fun to play, too. All right, so he's got the blast token. No, he's calling the mushrooms. All right. How much more is he gonna call though? All right, so he's putting the playing tokens in to draw a card. So now he has 3. He doesn't get any power boost until he's at grade 3, so that's okay. We'll take, yeah, we'll take this. Just in case we draw like a Vidrock. I wanted the Evoke Alchemist though. All right, draw. Actually, we're gonna discard that this time. That's our discard for ride. Then grade 1 skill, reveal top 3. These go to soul. This goes to the bottom of the deck, and we draw. All right, what do? Ooh, we got. All right, so no matter what, we have our power boost, and then we can actually steal Nexus with Elaborate Wizard. So we are doing okay, chat. We are doing okay. All right, so next, let's go like this. Call Elaborate Wizard. Skill. No, we'll call it over here. Yeah, we'll call it here. Skill. Look at top 2. Let's put Blang into the soul. Bam, we have Blang in the soul. Put the trigger on the bottom of the deck. Then we'll call. We actually don't need this in the soul. We don't need this anymore, so we can just do like this. Battle phase 16. So this would have let us put a card from dropping a soul when we boosted with it on grade 3 turn, but now we have everything we need in the soul. Like, it'll be great to get more soul, but we have 2 Blangs in the soul, and we have an OG Blank, so we have our Divine Skill live. All right, and we have another one to keep getting more soul anyway. All right, so now the deck's working the way I wanted it to. So yeah, so now by having OG Blang, we have our 5k to the front row. Our Divine Skill will be live as early as we can get it. And next turn with Elaborate Wizard, we can grab back our Nexus to have Persona Ride for the following turn, for turn 4. So we are looking pretty good. We have 2 PGs in hand, a pretty good amount of defense. Ow, my leg. Hopefully we can get a few more cards into our soul, so that way the cat is live. Because right now the cat is looking a little sus. A little sus. Because we want to, obviously the alternate cost for Blangdmire Nexus is dope, being able to get rid of a Blangdmire, but we kind of want to leave those in soul right now. But we also want to be able to put as many cards into our bind zone as possible. Alright, is he going for 5 attacks here is the question. Alright, 3 in. Alright, that card's good. He has 5 or more playing tokens, so he can choose one of my rear guards and can't stand. So that does throw a little bit of a damper on my plans. He's using a Estacion's skill, which is you get a plant gauge and then you check top 5. Well, you check top 3 at any card, but he's supposed to get top 5. He also didn't declare a rearguard to not stand. All right, so his front row gets thick. He's got 8, so he gets plus 10 to get to his front row. So 25, I will take that. Much as I don't want to. That I will guard. He's going for 5 attacks. So we'll have some pokes here. And he did have enough to still maintain the 10k power boost. He messed up. The token's gonna have 10k on it, but the rearguard's, I guess the rearguard's gonna have 50 next. Huh. I wasn't expecting that. Alright, that's fine by me. He has the crit. We'll take the Vanguard and block the crit. I would have loved to see a damage trigger. That's 30k. And that's 45. I want to save my PGs for next turn, because next turn's probably going to be his biggest turn. Alright. Let's draw. I don't even know what to discard here. I want to keep everything. Well, we're going to get Persona Ride back, so we can get rid of Blang. We're going to ride. And then top 3. This is going to go to Soul. PG is going to go to Soul. This gets shuffled back in, and we draw 1. Alright, we're looking alright. We're looking alright. Main phase. We're going to go Blang Skill. We're going to bind 1, 2, 3. Just because we have 2 PGs already, I'm going to get rid of this. 4. Now I have rear guards to call, so I'm just going to draw the card here. So they have to bind 2. My Vanguard gains 10k power. Alrighty. Now you have plus 5k on you. Call, you have plus 10k on you. And call, no intercepts. But the grade 3 isn't an intercept, so. Battle phase. We're gonna go 28. No, we're not. We're gonna swing Vanguard first. Cool. Alright, so it gets 10k. So 2 to pass. Twin drive. First check. Second check. Now I wish I didn't get rid of that PG, because I would have added that PG back to hand. 21. Oh, now we get Evoke Alchemist, piece of shit. Is there anything in Soul I even want now? No, there's not. Alright, so maybe Elaborate Wizard isn't great. At least you don't heal. Let's put a card into Soul. I should have did this first. I could have added back Tiskar. I'm stupid. I should have swung the other way. Well, then he would have took the first one. I would. All right, that sucks. And he gets a draw off of that. But if I had swung this side first and he had taken the damage, he would have went to 23, and then this wouldn't be able to hit anyway. So. In hindsight, this would have been better to swing with, but I get it. Alright, so use its skill to call itself back. He's trying to save on his hand. And he's calling another one to get another token, and then he's going to put a bunch into the blast to draw a card. Not bad, not bad. We're gonna take some damage here. Hope for some damage triggers, because we haven't seen very many triggers at all this game. He should still have one more copy of these in the deck, so even if he might have to call over his grade 1, one of the grade 2s. He'll have it in the drop to still call it back and get 5 attacks. Huh? Oh, he used the grade 3. It doesn't retire the grade 2, but I'm sure he wanted to retire the grade 2. I think he misunderstood how it works. Because you can either call a plant token, but all the plant tokens automatically go to the blast. So it's not. So you get a gauge, not the blast token. I mean, not the plant gauge. They big now. Oh, they're 35s. That's legit. Alright, we'll take that. Dude, where are my damage triggers, man? Five damage on a single damage trigger. Like, I have 2 triggers in hand, guys. 2. And I have 3 triggers in drop. I mean, I guess that's okay. It's just, seriously, dude. And I have to block the last 3 attacks. This is rough. I wish you would have called Dragon. I was really praying for a damage trigger, y'all. And I wish I could hit triggers, man. I wish. I wish. .28 and just because I don't have a board, I'm gonna guard with this. And I have to do this to try and get as much pressure on the board as I can. Oh my god, that felt so awful. Persona Ride, yay. Skill. Oh, main phase. Skill. Bind. 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 And I guess bind. And how many do I have bound now? 8, so I get 20k power. My front row gets 5k. Oh man, that was gross. Alright. So we're gonna go 33 to Vanguard. We're gonna use up all our counter blasts here. Skill, we'll put PG into Soul, because this is supposed to get removed. Alright, makes sense. We definitely have to Divine Skill here and fucking pray. Whoops. And then this gets 15k power, and then Divine Skill gets a crit. Alright, let's pray, chat. Twin Drive, first check. Yes! I knew I was... Yes! Fuck this divine skill. 4 damage, baby. Alright. Keep going. And he still got 3 damage triggers. I just want y'all to see out of his 6 damage, 5 of them are damage triggers. All right, guys, here's a second look at the deck. You guys saw what I was going for. By turbering out Nexus, it gives us a little bit of a stronger turn 3 where everything's not just focused on the Vanguard and we can actually hit some better numbers. I do need some tweaking. I think this grade 2 is a lot better than we were thinking. I think Elaborate Wizard's a little bit worse because it's very dependent on what you get into the soul. Like I said, getting Blangdmire into the soul, not hard, especially with the way the soul charge 3 from the ride line. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you guys want to see me play this deck live and tweak it, again, we will be playing on next week's stream, Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with anything new that comes out on Tuesday. If you guys want to check me on social media, those links are down below. That's it from me. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.
In my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you ain't high like this. I got reason to believe, I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.